So I know probably you must have heard about this title, Ezendiigbo. But do you know that this title, Ezendiigbo, which is now popular, is actually very wrong? Do you even know that this title, Ezendiigbo, was not obtained in Igbo history and culture? Therefore, in this video, I'm going to give you two good reasons why this now popular title Ezendiigbo is considered to be very wrong and a mistake taken too far. And I'm also going to give you the right name for this particular title. So sit back, relax, and do enjoy this video. Back to my channel. My name is Dr. Ebuka and I welcome you to the Igbo Lab. Here I teach you everything about Igbo language, Igbo culture, Igbo history, as well as Igbo art. And in today's video, we want to talk about the scam called Ezendiigbo title. Now, this popular title, Ezendiigbo, has grown beyond bounds. But it's important to note that this title, which is fast growing, is actually not correct. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you two good reasons why this title, Ezendiigbo, is considered to be wrong. And the first reason is this: the Igbo can never and has never had a centralized political system or a centralized kingship system. What do I mean by this? Remember the popular saying of the Igbo, "Na the Igbo enweze," the Igbo don't have kings. What we're talking about here does not mean that in the towns in Igbo land that there are no kings. No, we are actually referring to a centralized system of leadership, unlike what is obtained in the Yoruba land and also in Hausa Fulani. Now let's go back to history. The political organization of the Igbo before the coming of the Europeans was a system that operated based on the collective effort and contribution of all elders in the town. Of course, when I say elders here, I'm actually alluding to the heads of families, the heads of kindred, who come together and make a collective decision and pass their decision over to the youth for the implementation. And as such, the Igbo community was described as a republican society. And because of this, only 5 towns had kings in Igbo land before the coming of the colonial masters. And these 5 towns include Onitsha, Oguta, Osamari, Arochukwu, as well as Nri, the religious town. Apart from these towns, no other town had kings in Igbo land, and they all operated in this elder collective decision system before the coming of the colonial masters. Because of this, when the British men came, they didn't know how to rule the Igbo, so they started the warrant chief system. It was the warrant chief system that metamorphosed into the present Eze that we have now in Igbo land. But even though that we have this Eze in Igbo land, there has never been a time a particular person comes out to claim to be an Eze over a particular state. That has never happened. Which is why, if you go around the 5 southeastern states, you can never have a person come out to claim to be Ezendiigbo in Anambra State, for instance, or you have Ezendiigbo in Imo State, for instance, or you have Ezendiigbo in Abia State. This has never happened. How come the Igbo will live where they are living and sojourn to a distant land to crown themselves Ezendiigbo in a particular state? This shows that people don't know the difference between a leader and also a king. What the right nomenclature should be, Onye Ndu Ndị Igbo, the leader of the Igbo in that particular geographical location, and not Ezendiigbo. Having said this, the second point is this: you can never have 2 captains on one ship. What do I mean by this? You can't have 2 kings in one land. You can't leave your comfort zone and sojourn to a distant land and get there where they probably have a king, and then you make yourself a king in another man's land where there is already a king. That is not right. What it should be is that you become a leader of the Igbo in that place, and as such, what you should be addressed with is Onye Ndu and not Eze. This being said, let me ask you a question. If that person who claims to be Ezendiigbo in a particular country, let me give an example, let's say New Jersey or Ghana or Asia or China, you find people crowning themselves kings in all these places. when they return to their homeland, their town where they have kings already, what are they going to tell the king in their land? Are they going to submit themselves under their king or become a king too under the king who is ruling their area? You see, this is a problem. That's why we must begin to correct this aberration so as not to continue on this path for the sake of our children and for the sake of education. I believe at this time you've already known now the difference between Eze and Onyendu. Eze being a king and Onyendu being a leader. What you should have is not Ezendiigbo in any place, but Onyendu. This having been said, I believe this information has been very helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. I see you in my next video. Peace.